Victims and sex workers participated in freak-offs. The freak-offs is crazy. Is that what Diddy called them, or is that what the cops are calling it? Did he have like a paper somewhere that said the list for the freak-offs? Jesus. What the fuck is up, internet? Welcome to the channel, where in this video, we're going to be breaking down P. Diddy's indictment. We're talking about. First of all, I never liked Diddy. I knew that dude was fucked up. Back in the day, like, I loved Notorious, B.I.G., right? Like, I love Biggie. And every time I wanted to watch a Biggie video, I had this dude ruined it. P. Diddy ruined it. And now, like, we kind of all had an idea that Diddy probably has something to do with Tupac getting killed. But now I'm like, I don't know the details behind, like Biggie. But I wonder if Biggie was kind of like, yo, what's up with these Diddy parties? And then, and then Diddy fucking had him knocked off. Like, I have to do some more research into that. If I'm way off and it's like, Suge Knight or something, if we know it's Suge Knight or Death Row, just let me know. But because there was cops involved in both of them, right? I don't know. But now I'm like, if Diddy got Pac killed, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Biggie was like, yo, what's up, Puff? And Puff was like, oh shit, this dude's gonna out me. I gotta knock his ass off too. I don't know. But the story itself, all I really know is, like, we've all seen the video of him beating up his girl. There's been countless rumors, shit with fucking Bieber and Millie, what's his name? Mill? What's the dude from Philadelphia? Meek Mill? I don't know. There's like all these other rappers. I'm not really into the rap scene like I was back in the day, so I don't know everything that's involved. I know 50 Cent is convinced and P. Diddy's doing some fucking freaky shit. And they finally arrested his ass. So let's delve deeper into the details with this article I found on CNN. So the first paragraph of the 3-count federal indictment against the music mogul Sean Diddy Combs lays out an overreaching summary, the serious and sprawling allegations against him. Yikes, man. For decades, Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, aka PD. Who called him PD? aka Love? Did anybody ever call Puff Daddy Love? The defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. Damn, that is crazy. I mean, he's famous, and if he's got like some shit, if he's into some weird shit, he wants to keep making money, and then, they say, and others fulfill his sexual desires, meaning, you know what I mean? If he was doing like gay stuff back in the late 90s, early aughts, he ain't making no money. He was already like, the allegations were already out there because he was always dancing. So, I mean, people thought Diddy was gay back in the day, I believe. I mean, anytime you talked about him, that's what people would say. The indictment states, to do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled. Damn. Creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson? They burnt shit down? Bribery and obstruction of justice. Man, where'd the arson come in? What the fuck did they burn down? That's crazy. The indictment from the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York charges Combs with 3 counts: racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. If convicted, he faces a sentence of up to life in prison. Oh, they're throwing the book at him if he can. But I mean, he's got money, dude. I mean, R. Kelly had money too. I don't know, it's kind of crazy. I mean, maybe he doesn't get out of it. It depends. It depends on how good his lawyers are. It depends on how good the fucking evidence is against him. Combs, 54, pleaded not guilty to the charges in court Tuesday afternoon. He was denied bail and will remain in federal detention, a federal judge ruled. Man, he don't even get bail. That's the crazy part. Like, he probably just assumed he was going to get bail. He had to know. I mean, they were kind of on his ass. Weren't there a video of him, like, outside some resort months and months ago? And he was just pacing around, so he knew the fucking walls were closing in on him. But he probably thought he'd be able to make bail. Judge Robin Tornofsky told Combs there was no condition she could find to assure her that he will appear in court. Yeah, he's just got too much money. He'll bounce. He'll just bounce to one of those countries you can't get extradited from. The concern is that this is a crime that happens behind closed doors even when pretrial services is monitoring, Tornofsky said. Oh, so they're saying that he could still be doing some dirt. That's what they're worried about, not so much him fleeing. Well, the appear in court thing. In particular, the indictment accuses Combs of leading a criminal enterprise with other associates and employees, alleges he hosted drug-fueled freak-offs. Freak-offs. With victims and sex workers, notes instances of physical and sexual abuse, and illuminates what law enforcement found in the March raids of his home. Yeah, so back in March, that's when he was doing the pacing thing. Here are some of the key takeaways from the indictment. Combs accused of leading criminal enterprise. The first charge of the indictment is racketeering conspiracy, a federal crime used to target organized criminal syndicates known as the enterprise, such as the mafia. Dude. I mean, I never thought he was a gangster, you know what I mean? He'd talk gangster shit back in the day, but this is a different level of gangster than, like, prostitution and shit. Like, the prostitution part is whatever, but, like, the abuse and stuff, like, what the fuck was he doing? Members and associates of the Combs enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, sex trafficking. I mean, is that just bringing prostitutes in from different state or different areas or something? Sex trafficking is such like a weird word now, because I don't exactly know what it means, unless you're like kidnapping sexual people to have sex with against their will, or is it the same as like bringing a gun across state lines? I don't understand. Forced labor is kind of crazy. Like, what was he making them do? Serve drinks? I guess that was fucking. He was making them fucking. That was the labor. Interstate transportation of purposes of prostitution. I guess that's what I'm thinking of. Interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution. That's like crossing state lines. Coercion and incitement to engage in prostitution. Narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice, the indictment states. I'm really curious about this arson shit. The indictment lists 8 purposes for Combs' enterprise, including the above-board businesses of operating a media, entertainment, and lifestyle business. So he was doing this dirt to maintain Bad Boy, too. So he was doing, he was doing all this other shit on the side, and he probably had to conceal this shit in order to keep this thing going, Bad Boy going legit. Yet the other purposes were to preserve Combs' power through violence, threats, and abuse, to fulfill his personal sexual desires by exploiting women and using sex workers to enable him and others to commit sexual violence and sex trafficking, and to protect the enterprise from law enforcement through intimidation, manipulation, bribery, and threats of retaliation against eyewitnesses. God damn, man. This fucking Diddy wasn't fucking around. Like, they were doing all this shit just so he could fuck on the side, so that he could maintain Bad Boy. Like, dude, jerk off, man. There's tons of porn. I don't understand. I guess when you're rich, you start thinking that you're probably a little untouchable, and he just thought he was going to get away with shit because he was fucking intimidating, manipulating, and bribing people. It's crazy. Victims and sex workers participated in freak-offs. The freak-offs is crazy. Is that what Diddy called them, or is that what the cops are calling it? Did he have like a paper somewhere that said the list for the freak-offs? Jesus. The indictments alleges Combs held what he called, he called them freak-offs, or elaborate sex performances in which he drugged and coerced victims into extended sex acts with male sex workers. Oh, wait, what? So he's having these people do like live porn in front of him. So he was getting these prostitutes to come in and fuck male sex workers? These freak-offs occurred regularly and sometimes lasted multiple days, the indictment states. I mean, I remember the Diddy parties back in the day. It was like, they talked about them like crazy, but what the fuck? The events were arranged by Combs and facilitated by his staff and employees. According to the indictment, the employees arranged the travel for victims and sex workers, booked hotel rooms, stocked them with drugs, baby oil. This baby oil. She had like thousands of bottles of baby oil. Like, what the fuck? Lubricant and extra linens, cleaned rooms afterwards, and gave Combs large sums of cash to pay the sex workers, the indictment states. Wait, what the so why were the employees giving him sums of cash? Further, Diddy kept videos he took of his victims engaging in sex acts, sometimes without their knowledge, the indictment states. He allegedly used those videos to exert control over his victims. God damn! Man, he was doing some sliver shit too? So he was just recording the shit. Wow. I mean, who's falling for that though? I mean, I guess if he's afraid of getting caught up in it, there's everybody that he's involved with. They're gonna be afraid, and then he's probably like, you know, what the fuck, Diddy? They're probably feeling like it's kind of like a safe thing. There's no shot that Diddy's gonna want to get in trouble for this stuff, so he's gonna be quiet about it. But instead, he just turned around and extorted him. Wow. Combs also used the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating recordings that he made during freak-offs as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence of the victims, the indictment says. Yeah, man, dude. This guy is diabolical. He's like a fucking... He dressed up as the Joker. I remember people going crazy about that, but this dude's a real fucking villain. Yeah, this is the video that I remember where he beat up the girl and drug her back in I guess it was the girl he was seeing at the time. No need to watch that. We've all seen it. If you haven't, it's out there. Surveillance video shows Sean Diddy Combs physically assaulting former girlfriend in 2016. Just Google that shit. The indictment accuses Combs of years of abuse and specifically notes the surveillance video exclusively obtained by CNN showing him beating his then-girlfriend Cassandra Venture, the artist known as Cassie, at a Los Angeles hotel in 2016. So they're going off of that for a lot of this? Huh. Interesting. Combs engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse towards women and other individuals, the indictment states. The abuse was, at times, verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. God damn, Diddy. I knew you were a fucking annoying little weirdo, but I didn't... Jesus, man. I mean, he had juice, though. I mean, Diddy in the day, plus he was kind of known as killing... I mean, people probably knew he fucking off Tupac, or had Tupac killed, so there was probably like a lot of fear, plus, you know what I mean, hopes to get famous. And so they put up with some crazy ass shit. Insane. The physical abuse in particular was recurrent and widely known, the indictment states, and occurred on numerous occasions from about 2009 and continued for years. 2009? It probably started before that. 2009, what the fuck was going on then? So that was 2 years before. It was probably going on longer than that. I can't remember what the fuck was going on in 2009. The indictment highlights one instance at a Los Angeles hotel in about March 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, showing Combs kicking, dragging, and throwing a vase at a woman. When a hotel staffer intervened, Combs attempted to bribe them for their silence, the indictment adds. Oh shit. Huh? Is that the same video? March 16. Yeah, so maybe that's the same video. The details match up with CNN's reporting in May of the video that showed Combs beating and kicking Ventura. She is not named in the indictment. God damn. In November 2023, Ventura sued Combs and accused him of rape and years of abuse. In response, an attorney for Combs said he vehemently denies these offensive and outrageous allegations. They settled the lawsuit a day after it was filed. I remember that. So he vehemently denies, but then just filed a like he just settled the lawsuit. I mean, I guess that's kind of what famous people do, even guilty or not. The explosive surveillance video contradicted Combs' earlier comments denying wrongdoing, and days afterward, he posted an Instagram video apologizing. My behavior in that video was inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video, he said. Jesus. Yeah, I remember that. I never watched the video. I mean, I wasn't really paying a whole lot of attention to this because, I mean, I'm thinking, dude, people know he killed Tupac, and he was getting away with that. So I really didn't think he was going to face any consequences for any of this shit until he got arrested. Law enforcement seized guns and freak-off supplies. Freak-off supplies in raids of Combs' homes. Jesus, look at this. So he's got guns. I mean, that's what they really want to show off in the pictures. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams pointed at a chart Tuesday showing the firearms seized during the search of Sean Diddy Combs' homes. Crazy. Law enforcement seized guns, ammo, drugs, and a huge collection of baby oil and lubricant during searches of Combs' homes in Miami and Los Angeles in March, according to the indictment. Like, what? Baby oil and other lubricants. Like, I've never been to a freak off, right? I know what baby oil is slippery and lubricants, but like these freak offs are so crazy that 1,000 bottles of baby oil? Maybe that's just to throw on a tarp or something. I don't know. My mind doesn't. I don't want to think about that kind of shit. I'm trying to fucking read the story, folks. Law enforcement sees various... I already read that part. In addition, the indictment alleges Combs' associates at times carried firearms and accuses Combs of brandishing firearms to intimidate and threaten others. I mean, that's the point. I mean, he was a fake gangster, so of course he was doing that. Law enforcement seized firearms and ammunition in their searches of his homes, including 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers and a drum magazine, the indictment says. 3 AR-15s doesn't seem like a whole lot of firepower for a guy that's doing all this crazy shit. But then again, he's probably... I mean, he's got a lot of people under his thumb, even now. I mean, there's probably a lot of people that were involved in all this stuff that he has information on that aren't going to want to come forward. And they may be his muscle outside of these AR-15s, actually. Number of victims is unclear. The indictment lays out offenses against a number of victims, including women and commercial sex workers, but does not specify how many. Probably a shit ton, dude, from 2009? So you're talking fucking 15 years? Jesus. The prosecution's letter asking for Combs to be detained before trial notes that dozens of victims and witnesses have provided detailed, credible, and corroborated information against the defendant, combining the totals of victims and witnesses in other parts of the letter. In another part of the letter, the prosecution states it has conducted interviews with over 50 victims and witnesses, said the number is expected to grow. Jesus, 50 people. 50 victims. I wonder who was at these parties that were off limits that he wasn't fucking, or was he trying to get everybody under? I mean, he's having these parties with famous people. Was he extorting everybody, or were there some people that he just wasn't fucking with, that he was just showing them this shit? U.S. Attorney Damon Williams was vague when asked to clarify the number of victims at a news conference Tuesday. We are intentional in saying multiple, he said. Meanwhile, the sex trafficking charge is based on allegations against a single unnamed victim 1 from about 2009 up to 2018, the indictment says. So this one person is victim 1, or victim I. I don't know if that's a 1 or an I. They were the person that he was just their like sex slave for 9 years. This was the person that he would just make come to all the freakouts. God damn, man. I knew this shit was fucked up. But god damn, he's just extorting everybody. This weird... I mean, I guess that's how you would do it. I mean, if you really wanted to fucking extort people, you would convince them to do wildin' out shit, and then you would film them doing it and blackmail them. God damn. 50 victims. That just tells me that they're over a 15-year period, or whatever it is, that there's probably... These Diddy parties were super famous. I don't know if it just like a switch went on in 2009. Is that kind of when Bad Boy started kind of falling off, maybe? And then he just, in desperation, started taking on this new persona? I don't know, man. That's crazy. That's definitely more, that's crazy, man. It's just crazy. I'm fucking at a loss here. Like, what the fuck? Power, baby. I mean, he probably just got a taste of it. Something happened early on where he was like, holy fuck, I can do this to everybody. And he just started doing it. And it's kind of fucked up if you got dragged into that shit. If you're just somebody that's like, oh shit, yeah, you get invited by some other associate of Diddy, and you show up and then you get caught all up in this, man, aren't you? Whoever invited me, I'm grabbing that motherfucker up. Right? Well, that's all I have for now. Make sure to let me know what you think about this video in the comments. I'll catch you on the next one. Later.